Hey there, y'all, and welcome to today's Daily Down and Dirty. My name is Fairlight. Welcome to Airy Fairy Tarot. So I am back after a long and eventful working vacation, and I'm happy to be back in my la-la land. All right, so the message today, you guys, a bunch of fucking cards came out, and it's about, how did it say it? Shattering... Reality shatters into shards of disillusionment. Yeah, that's easy to say. All right. Anyway, so we start out with the Tower and the Hierophant. And I don't do reversals with this deck, but this whole stack of cards came flying out and they were all reversed. I'm going to take them as upright, but because they were all in reversals, I just feel like we may be in a long, slow process of this disillusionment. With reality shattering bit by bit. So both of these major arcanas, the Tower and the Hierophant, both spiritual in their own way. This is about reality shattering. This is about speaking your truth into being. Normally, traditionally, the Hierophant is the Pope, but I like the definition that my guides took me 2 years ago, which defined a Hierophant as a person who translates the sacred mysteries. And I always have to say it twice. A Hierophant is a person who translates the sacred mysteries. You are the Hierophant if you choose to be. And so whatever disillusionment, again, easy for me to say, may be happening in your reality right now, you get to decipher what the meanings are for you and in your own sovereign, understanding. And however you choose to share these whatever it is that you learn, whatever these messages are, is up to you. But just know that you are at a major transformational period right now, and it's meant for you to recognize your own divinity ultimately. So then we move, I'm going to jump around, I think. Then we've got this Nine of Crystals, which would be like the Nine of Swords, and the Man of Crystals, which would be the King of Swords. He is called the Inventor, but this Nine of Swords is called narrowness. So I like that it's the Nine of Crystals and the narrowness. If we think of ourselves as being multifaceted and our perspective as being such, then this is looking through only one lens. This is seeing through a very narrow facet of belief and understanding, where there's so many other perspectives that could be considered, so many different ways of doing things or comprehending things or perceiving things. And so I think it's asking you to be more objective. That's part of the illusion being shattered, is maybe that facet needs to be shattered so that you can see the multiple different ways through which realities can be viewed. So with this King, I like that it's called the Inventor. We do have Einstein here later on. He'll come up. Probably this is the next group of cards I'll get. But it's interesting that we have this Inventor here, and then we've got Einstein, who is an inventor of great theories in science, right? So, but with this narrowness, it's being so aligned, so loyal to a belief system that you develop cognitive dissonance, which is being so attached to your beliefs that you just can't perceive that there could possibly be other perspectives. And again, it's that narrowness, and that narrowness will keep you, the Nine of Swords, it's like the worst card in the whole deck. I always look at this as major trauma, where you keep reliving trauma, either through guilt and shame, or you have such traumatic experiences that you project it onto your now experiences as well as onto future experiences. And it's like, and what I've experienced through my own having PTSD, long-term PTSD, is that when things are okay, we tend to look at it through a fearful lens and find problems when there really are none there. It's just a matter of perspective. And so, again, shifting your perspective, and sometimes life will very harshly force you to shift your thinking. So then we come over here, we've got it's funny, they call it the Fool Child. The Fool Child, which I think it's beautiful that we've got this baby, this fetus there, brand new beginning. And I like, and we do have the Magician in the next stack. And so we go from the 0 to the 1, from that Fool Child to the Magician. And so sometimes we may not know what it is that we are manifesting, because we may not even be clear about what it is that we do want to manifest, especially when we're so identified with limited beliefs and limited thinking. It's hard to be clear about what you want when you don't even know you have a choice, and you've not considered what the possibilities could hold. And so I like that we're at this 0 point and there's this fetus in utero, because then we've got the Sage of Wands, which is the seer, and we've also got the Sage of Crystals, which is the knower. And in between the seer and the knower, we have change, which is the 8 of Worlds. And traditionally the 8 of Worlds, the 8 of Pentacles, is more about, I kind of see it as mastering your craft. It can involve learning, which, so this Hierophant has to do with learning as well as teaching. And so this is like fine-tuning your craft. Again, my favorite depiction of the 8 of Pentacles is a luthier, because, you know, when someone starts creating musical instruments, that takes a lot of learning. It takes a lot of understanding, not only of wood or whatever, but also of resonance and tone. So there's a lot that goes into this. And so between the seer and the knower is change. Again, we're kind of on this theme of shifting perspective, and seeing and then knowing something. It kind of feels like practice. Again, there's some sort of alchemy inherent in this aspect of the reading, especially because we've got this fire. And when I first saw this card, when I picked these 3 up, I heard trial by fire. That's almost what I called the reading, but the title I went with just kind of seemed to fit the whole reading better. But there is some sort of purification that goes on. And so I believe that in the shifting of our perspective, in the shattering of a facet, which it's interesting that we call it a facet, but then that goes right in alignment with the word facade. And so sometimes we don't recognize that the lens we're looking through is actually a mask. and we're perceiving everything through how it relates to our own perspective. And so it's a mask of how we see ourselves, or how we want to appear in the world. And so isn't it interesting that it's this continuous mirror back and forth of reality mirroring back to you of what's inside, and then you mirroring onto your reality what, you know, your beliefs are, or your preferences, depending on where you're at. And so I believe that's with this purification and this change, as you witness from a new perspective, then you become the knower, and you recognize your ability to create new concepts. And so that's what this brand new journey is about with the Fool. And then finally we come over to the 6 of Worlds. I love that we had the 8 of Worlds. Now we've got the 6 of Worlds. This is often a card of balance and of giving and receiving. And then we've got the Magician, and then we've got the Lovers. And of course, I always want to point out, these 2 are major arcanas. This one is a major arcana, and these 2 are major arcanas. So you're at a major destiny point. And because often this one is associated with the scales. And then also, what did I want to point out about this one? Because something to do with the scales. Oh, I don't remember what it was, but there are 2 there are 2 swans there. I think I was, oh no, it's right in the middle, this planet with the rings. So that kind of speaks to Saturn. I don't know if that's Saturn, but there's other planets with rings. But there's something about karma and how we had the 6 and the 8. There's just some sort of a balance that we find here, and that we also find with the Lovers here. And I'm not trying to like stretch there or anything. I just kind of feel like this Lovers indicates bringing this synergy, because that's what this card is about. Maybe that was it, synergy. Bringing this synergy into these two halves of yourself, your own divine yin and yang, your own, you know, balance of self, and fusing together some sort of perspective into this wholeness. And then as the magician, you can create choice points based on this balance, recognizing that you do have a choice about what you create, and then also recognizing that with those choices you can find what is going to be most beneficial, some sort of synergy between I don't know, again, that alchemy between being the seer and the knower. I didn't realize I went over 10 minutes already. All right, so I'm gonna wrap it up with that. I think we're just gonna end with this. And so just knowing that as you shatter the old illusions, you come in to recognize that you are not only the creator of your reality, but you're also a teacher of what to manifest within that reality. Again, the seer becomes the knower. All right, that's all I have for today. Peace and love until next time.